Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. For the bonus stream this afternoon, update, it is still cold as heck where I'm living, so I'm just hunkering down, I guess. Shivering in my office. But that's okay. We have game development to do. Oh no, I forgot something. Give me 1 second here. Give me just 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I brought another guest. This is my other cat. How's it going? You stink. You need a bath. Okay, anyway. We're going to skip the ads today. We're just going to get straight into it. But all the ways you could support me are linked in the description below. So check those out if you're interested. But we've got to work on the tutorial a little bit more here. We're getting very, very, very close to finished. I may even be able to mostly finish the tutorial sequence right now on this stream. So we'll see, but I've kind of got a solution in place for the skeleton accelerating to the position it needs to be and also decelerating when it arrives. There's still a slight little bug with it that I may not be able to fix without reworking the system. But I may do that at a later point in time. But it's just not going to present much of a problem. So this guy is floating around very nicely now and getting back to the position that he's supposed to be in. And then if I go ahead and go out, yeah, I think it's just looking good. So I think the next thing that I need to focus on for this tutorial here is getting all the timings right in terms of like when there should be a delay before he pops up, giving, you know, just in other words, making the pacing a lot better. So that is something that I'm going to do. What I'm realizing now also is that this guy is still steering around when the process method is running here. So I think what I probably should do with that is when I pop him out, I should probably do something like set process to false and then also zero out the velocity. And this wander local target also needs to be reassigned. Oh, maybe it doesn't. No. Wander direction. We'll keep the wander direction, but we're going to zero out the velocity. So in here, we're going to do set process to false here as well. Okay, and then when we pop in, we will do set process to true. Okay, that should work. Let me just test that. Anyway, hello Emerson, welcome back. Can you make a tutorial on how to make a tutorial? Very funny, very funny. Good afternoon to you as well. All the extra streams are like Christmas. Hello, I'm Jacob. Cat, yes. Gotta love the cats. Okay. So he's moving around very nicely now, which is good. And no longer processing when he's hidden. Okay, so grab one of these, he goes back out, and then he pops back in, goes to the alchemy, points at that. And we go here. It's kind of funny. To alchemize cards, add 2 or more cards to the pot. Click the pot to commence alchemization. Choose 1 card to add to your inventory. Hover over the abilities. Now continue your offensive. So yeah, we're going to have to change some of the pacing here, but that's all right. Probably make him disappear right there. I'm just making sure that this looks good, generally speaking. Okay. Unlock that cell. Some locations require power, so we go to the location. Go here, kerblam, berm. Go here. Okay, so we got to fix the resurrection as well, and also get the timings down, but that should be fine. Just making sure everything looks good. All right, I think we're in good shape here. So let's work on some of the timings here. Let me just do this. don't process skeleton or skull rather if hidden. Okay. That's so cute. Yeah, I like him. I know you mentioned also being quite proud of how the game looks, but I want to say again that visually this is stunning. Really, really excellent work. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Still a lot of work to do, but yeah, I think it's certainly, just by all accounts, Alchemortis is the best game I've ever made. I hope it's not the best game I'll ever make, but it's the best so far. I'm happy with how everything is going, and hopefully you are too when this new playtest rolls around here in a couple weeks. But let me go ahead and step through it again, and we'll just start to identify places where the pacing needs to be a little bit better. Okay, so we've got this tutorial guy here. I step here, he goes away. Okay, that all is good, I think. So we place this here. Click the combat disc to begin the encounter. So we click that, he goes away. Okay, so here's the first place where I think I want some kind of wait period. So that's when we go into the state combat victory. So we'll go to the tutorial guide, state combat victory. So we go to the state combat victory. We're going to do an await here. Await get tree. Do I have await this? I want to add a utility to my Godot utilities where you can just do like this dot timer, but that's all right. Get tree dot create timer 1F false. We need to do to signal name timeout. Okay, so we'll give that a little bit of a delay there. I can play test earlier now. Oh, very nice. Very nice, thank you. I'm assuming you mean that you subscribe to the Patreon. Appreciate that for sure, thank you. Hello, Clickertail. Sorry I missed the past 3 streams. Yeah, we were missing you. We waited for you even. We were sitting there for 15 minutes waiting for Clickertail to show up, and we had to move on without you. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Welcome back, Clickertail. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Yep. Awesome. Thank you again. We'll get this game out soon, hopefully. We'll get this game out soon. There's a bunch of other visual things that I want to do with the skeleton as well, the skull, but let's get the timings down first. Okay, that delay is a little bit wonky. And also, when I do the pop in, let me think about this. When I do a pop in, I may want to change where it comes in at. But we'll figure that out later. One thing at a time. Let's do a ½ a second delay here instead. Hello, Ninja Link. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good afternoon to you as well. Hello, Wooius. Welcome back. Okay, boom there. Click the combat disc to begin the encounter. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, we'll grab one of these, and then he disappears. So we open the alchemy drawer. To alchemize cards, add 2 or more cards to the pot. Click the pot to commence alchemization. So that's one of the bugs that he has right now. Sometimes he'll just get pushed away from the wander position, but we'll do this. Okay, so choose 1 card to add to your inventory. That's where we need to add another spot. So I think we have a game event for alchemization finished, but we also have alchemy started. I think. Alchemy drawer. Alchemy started. Oh, alchemy container, I think. Alchemy container. We should have a signal. There's no signal in here. All right. Handle pressed. Emit alchemization finished. So we're probably going to want public static void emit alchemy started. Signal public delegate void alchemy started. Emit alchemy started. Okay, and then in my alchemy drawer, alchemy container, I mean, we'll do that here. Emit signal alchemy started. Oh, this needs to be game events. Emit alchemy started. Cool. Alrighty. And then what? We go to the tutorial guide here. We have this state post alchemy. We have the state alchemy output. So let's rename this to state begin alchemy. Leave state begin alchemy. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, because I have a method with the same name already. Alchemy, open the alchemy drawer. So I'll probably do private void state alchemy started. Leave state alchemy started. Okay, and we'll do skull.pop out. Okay. So wherever we're switching to the state alchemy output, this needs to go to state alchemy started here. Let's add that new state in here. State alchemy started. Okay, we need to change into that state. Right, so now I need a method in here, our signal handler in here. Let's see, on alchemy started. State alchemy started. Okay, and then in here, we need to connect to that. Game events.instance.connect. Alchemy started on alchemy started. Okay, and then in the state alchemy output, we're going to do await to signal, get tree create timer. We'll do another half a second wait, I suppose. Let's see how all that goes. I hate the snowfall weather. Yeah. Oops. Why did this do task? Okay. Yeah, the snow is not fun. Hello, Ben. Hope you haven't been well. I've been well, thank you. Hope you are well as well. And welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Have all the permutations for the crafting been exported to a text file for validation? No. No. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know if there's anything to validate. It's pretty algorithmic the way that it works. It's not like it's creating brand new things. It's just taking existing abilities from cards and putting them onto new cards. And all that is pretty straightforward from a technical perspective. Open up the alchemy drawer. To alchemize cards, add 2 more cards to the pot. Click the pot to commence alchemization. Oh, so that alchemization finished is not actually finished. Set alchemy output cards. Well, that's fine, I suppose. I guess I'll just wait 2 seconds instead. It's time for Game Dev once again. Yes, indeed. Hello, Jackie Daytona. Welcome back. I'm so ready to be done with this tutorial. I probably also want to do... something like that. So just adding some breathing room into the tutorial here. Give the player some opportunities to get their bearings. Yeah, that works. The players will see how the combat works there. You've defeated some of the Inquisition's forces, claim your treasure and press forward. Open the alchemy drawer. To alchemize cards, add 2. So I'm going to change this a little bit. To alchemize cards. Set anchor board. Let's do -24. We're just going to move it off the side there a little bit more. Put two cards on the board. Also this set look at anchor board plus vector 2.1 times 18. Oh, this needs to be the offset. There we go. Okay. So we take these. Oops. Do this. He's going to pop out. Okay, that's a little bit too long. We'll do 1.5. Take one of these. So now continue your offensive. I want to do something about this. So let me just make sure all those changes I've made. Then we'll handle the now continue your offensive. Maybe I'll add another step where it's like close the alchemy drawer to continue or something. But there we go. Click the pot to commence alchemization. Choose one card to add to your inventory. Hover over the card to see its new abilities. Where are you going, sir? Thank you. So we grab the Skeleton Warrior. Now continue your offensive. Okay. So this is looking pretty good, generally speaking. But we're probably going to want to prompt the player to close that. What's next after this is done? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we got to fix all these tutorial issues, and then we've got everything in this to-do list here. A lot of these things are pretty easy. So that's an easy bug. That might be an involved bug. This is easy. This is easy. This is going to require some art. This one is not going to be that easy. This one is going to be okay. And this one is kind of irrelevant, but... So basically everything that's in the to-do list is basically all that needs to be done. It might take some time to add some new cards and some new reagents and whatnot. And yeah, basically we'll take it easy after this feature is done for the next couple weeks, because I want to play test the game a bunch, make sure it's feeling really good. I have a bunch of sound effects to update, which I probably should update SFX throughout the game. Because I've added a bunch of new stuff that don't have sound effects, so I'm going to need to do that. What else? Yeah, do a bunch of playtesting, add a bunch more cards, and just generally try to get it feeling as good as possible for the playtest. There's a lot of new features, so definitely want people to test those out. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens after that. You a full-time streamer now? Basically, I guess. Sounds fun. Yeah, it should be fun. Hello, Kanik. Oh, welcome back, V, by the way. Good to see you as always. What's your advice to avoid spaghetti code once your project scales up? Eat the spaghetti, yeah. So what is my advice? So I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but if you treat the systems in your game like they're going to be consumed, like they're going to be used by a third party, that kind of framing can help a lot. So if you imagine that you're developing an API for another developer to consume, if you adopt that framing, it becomes a lot harder to do things like create spaghetti entanglements. Because when you're thinking about, okay, what would it look like for another developer to consume this, you're thinking more systems, right? Like, okay, how can I narrowly tailor, for example, an inventory system? How can I keep all the inventory logic contained to this inventory system? But then, of course, you have the problem of like, well, how do I respond to inventory changes in the other parts of the game? And that's where you introduce like signals. So you can emit signals when the inventory changes. You can expose a public API for changing the inventory. So you might have public methods like get item at slot, or get max stack size, or whatever else, or swap item at slot, something like that, or get next empty slot is another method that you might have. So you have these methods that are publicly accessible that are for interacting with the inventory, and then you emit signals out of that inventory whenever a relevant state changes. So when an item gets placed at a slot, you might emit a signal for that. And then what you have is you have a very nice and isolated inventory system that is basically siloed and does not depend on any other game state to work. And then you make the other parts of your game respond to that, right? So for instance, if you had a player who could heal themselves with food or whatever, you might have an API on your inventory system that allows you to, check if there's food in the inventory or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, try to design your APIs as if they're being used by an external developer. That will help you keep your systems siloed and make them like all encapsulated and contained in themselves. And that should hopefully drastically reduce the spaghettification. The map node tooltip would be a big one too, I think. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, lots of stuff to do. It's okay though. Okay, so now continue your offensive. So we need another state here. Let's create a state called stateMachine.addState state pre-combat 2. Leave state pre-combat 2. And so this state post alchemy, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to do private void state pre-combat 2. We're adding another step in here. Leave state combat 2. So in this state post alchemy here, what we're going to do is we are going to send the skull back to the drawer. Actually, we're going to send it to the inventory button. So let's do public drawer toggle button, inventory toggle button. I'm going to do inventory toggle button. Okay. Okay. Inventory to what does it say? Continue. Okay, so now when the inventory is closed, we're going to need to do maybe not skull.pop out. Maybe we don't need that. Okay. So now we need to know when the inventory has become closed. This is pre-combat 2. How do I know when the inventory is closed? Oh, I have an inventory open signal. How convenient. I actually need the closed signal, but that's all right. Inventory closed. On inventory closed. On inventory closed, if state machine current state is equal to state post alchemy, change it to state pre-combat 2. All right, let's see if that works. So we just added another step in there, prompting the player to close the inventory before we show the next message. Inquisition is aware of your dark presence. Move to confront them. Place cards on your board to prepare for combat. Cards will execute their abilities when their turn comes up. Click the combat disc to begin the encounter. You have defeated some of the Inquisition's forces. Claim your treasure and press forward. Alchemy is used to combine cards and create new ability combinations. Open the alchemy drawer to begin crafting. To alchemize cards, add 2 or more cards to the pot. Choose one card to add to your inventory. Hover over a card to see its new abilities. Okay. Close the inventory to continue. Resume your offensive against the Inquisition with your newly acquired card. Now the problem is if I open this up, that text is going to be over top. So I might want to fix that. Maybe I'll put that in here somewhere. Rendering order is not correct if the skull is supposed to be in world position, but the alchemy drawer is opened. So I might be able to just test this right now while it's running. So what I could do is I might be able to just, if I open up my tutorial guide here, and I just change this layer to 9, for example. Yeah, that works. Now here's a problem. The dimmer is not showing up. But anyway, so I think what I'll do for that, to fix that one that I just noted, is I will just knock the canvas layer down 1 to 9. And then for anything that's supposed to be a world position, I'll set that to 9, and then I'll just leave it at 10 otherwise. Yeah, so I do actually do that already. So if you notice when I first start the tutorial, there are no tabs here because I want the player to move first. So I move first, and then the inventory pops out immediately, and I close this, or I beat this. And then those tabs show up afterwards, and we get introduced to alchemy immediately. So that is there, but the thing is I don't want to take that back away from the player after I've introduced it, because that's not part of the normal game. Like, I don't want to do anything in the tutorial that would leave the player with the impression that this is how the game works, you know what I mean? Oh, that hover text is not working either. I might have to do more of an offset there. Misunderstood the order of operations. All good. No, the alchemy system is not explained very thoroughly in the tutorial. I have to decide how I want to educate the player on that, but the tutorial is basically just, here's how to play the game. That looks wrong too. Anyway. Oh, that's right, because I need to go on travel entered. I may actually change this. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, how to educate the player about alchemy is a different problem. I'm going to figure out what to do with that later. Okay, let's see if that works. Anything that can work standalone without code linking, fiddling with code. I'm porting my tweeting modules at the moment. Yeah. Avoiding tight coupling is a good thing. But I think that can be almost pathological too. Like, you can actually increase the complexity of your game by trying to avoid coupling too much. Unfortunately, it's a judgment call, and it kind of comes with experience. You kind of have to just learn when it's okay to couple things and when it's not okay, or when it's going to present more problems than it's worth. I think I can fix. Let's see. Map node tooltip gets stuck if hovered over node when inventory is opened. So I think I know how to fix that now. I think I know how to, let me see if I actually know how to reproduce that. Close the inventory to continue. Oh, well, it's not going to work now because of that. Anyway, resume your offensive. Okay. If player doesn't understand alchemy is good or what it does, he won't remember to do it. Yeah. I guess the challenge is to what extent do I explain alchemy, like... I was hoping that tutorial would be enough, because it does tell you to hover over the cards to see their new abilities. And so what you should be able to see with these simple examples is like, oh, the skeleton gained an extra damage, or like this has 8 fire and 6 fire. I unlocked the residue there. But do I need to explain it more than that? I mean, there's a ton of things that go unexplained in the tutorial, so it's like a question of what should be up to be explained and what should the player have to discover. I'm a lead dev, but also something called technical artist. I expose everything to the artist and use a lot of energy to make the module like a Lego block. That way my boss gets more bang for buck. Hello, Tempera Cat Games. Is this the Hightail stream? Hightail? I remember that project got canceled and then it got revived. I was very excited for that game like 5 years ago. But anyway. Okay, so that's generally looking pretty good. Let's fix the resurrection now, I suppose. So let's see why the resurrection doesn't work. I think it's an order of operations issue, actually. I might be able to fix it right now without doing anything. Or I'm going to have to do something, but without testing it. Onboard registered. If a board.owner is a resurrection container. Right, so this is happening. I think what I could do is I could just await async void await to signal create timer. Let's do 2 seconds. Let's see if that fixes it. Maybe just a sentence like the resulting cards can have abilities from all input cards. Hover over a card to inspect its abilities would be concise enough. Yeah, we could look at doing something like that. Hightail came out 2 days ago. It's like out. Oops. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. I was excited for that game a while ago. When we have to start a new project, the first week is adding Lego blocks, leaving all the cognitive load for the last bit of ugly business spaghetti code. That's smart. I'm actually remaking my tutorial right now. Is there anything general that you've learned while making it design-wise? I don't think so. I think I haven't really learned much, honestly, from implementing this. I've learned how much it sucks, but yeah, I still have to figure out how to properly educate the player, because I think the main problems that I'm struggling with is I don't want the tutorial to drag on and on and on, because what's going to happen if I do that is that the players are just going to get impatient. They're not going to read anything. So if I put a bunch of information as text anyway, players are not likely to read it. So I want to make the tutorial as interactive as possible. I want the players to discover how the game works as much as possible first. So I'm trying not to be too wordy with it. So if I do this, so yeah, what did we say? The resulting cards. Let's see. Resulting cards can have abilities, can have new abilities from the input cards. The resulting cards will have new abilities from the input cards. Hover over a card to see its new abilities. Choose one card to add to your inventory. Okay, we'll see if that works. Maybe just one sentence like that. Close the inventory to continue. Resume your offensive against the Inquisition with your newly alchemized card. Okay, out in early access, just picked it up for my partner and I. Very cool. Did you play it at all? Did you like it? Or are you liking it so far? I think explaining things is only necessary if the player can't progress without that understanding. If it's not consequential now, then ditch it. Might be able to ship the feature faster as a result. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, this tutorial is going to be in the playtest, and I can certainly expand or tweak the tutorial based on player feedback. This step can probably be improved a little bit, but... Oh, I was going to test the resurrection stuff. Okay, so I guess I'll just go ahead and die. My game is like a weird real-time deck builder action game, so there's a lot of weird stuff to explain. I think it's a per-game basis on how to make it interactive and fun. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to like tutorials that... Well, I mean, I'm a different kind of player too. Like, If a game gives me a tutorial when the game first starts up, the first thing I do is see if I can skip the tutorial. Like, I don't care. I don't want the game to educate me. I like to get in and get my hands dirty and like figure out the game as I go. But if the tutorial is forced on me, then I definitely appreciate when tutorials are very like I don't need to be told, if I'm playing a first-person shooter, I don't need to be told that WASD is move. Like, I hate that. Oh, really? You're going to start me off and they're going to put a little highlight on the ground that says use WASD to move. I get it. I've played first-person shooters before, right? I know that left click is to shoot. You don't need to tell me that, right? But when there's like weird mechanics that are a little like, so I'm thinking the most recent new game that I've played is Arc Raiders. And the Arc Raiders tutorial is not skippable, unfortunately. But, you know, it did explain certain things, like here's how to bring up the, you know, the quick use wheel. You have to go and breach containers, right? So you have to walk up to containers and breach, and that's how you find loot. Here's how to swap your weapons. I mean, weapon swapping would have been figured out as well, but I think it taught a little bit about vaulting as well and avoiding bots. Like, I think it did a good job, like, educating players for the most part on, like, the mechanics that are unique to it. And it was interactive. Like, there's actually a little tutorial zone that basically is designed the same way as any map that you would play. Obviously, a lot smaller scale, but... And so it was like being thrown into an actual raid, but it was like a tutorial. It was just a tutorial raid. So I liked that tutorial. I still wish I could have skipped it, but it did have helpful information in it. So, but, you know, my game being more of a strategy game, I probably do need to explain things a little bit more explicitly. Some call it bottling the lightning. My game, I'm just not going to add a tutorial. Since the design of my game is simple, it's just move cursor towards... Wow, I can't read. Move cursor towards moving object and it's getting closer to you, and that's it. Very nice. Not sure how it would look visually, but only showing the arm when it points to something may look better. Like the skull moves to the area and the arm scales up to point at the node. Find it odd that the arm is hanging around when it's not pointing at something important at the moment. Well, it's always pointing at something. Maybe that's not obvious. But I will, I have some tweaks that I want to make to the visuals here for the little guy. So we'll see. You're gonna play when you get home. So hardworking, looks like you want to stream all day. Thank you, Shirley, for the $10. Very much appreciate that. For those who are unaware of the Firebelly lore, Shirley is my fiance. I haven't been streaming all day. This is the second stream. I took a little break in the afternoon, so I'm not as impressive as you think I am. But thank you again. Always good to have you here, Shirley. I haven't seen any YouTube level developer run a playtest or demonstrate a function that executes autoplay. By the way, you get instant infinite contextual tutorial data now for extra cost. Bone Circuit, your messages are so cryptic sometimes. To be honest, I don't know how to interpret that statement. Like, I don't know what a YouTube level developer is. I don't know what you mean by demonstrate a function that executes autoplay, and I don't know what you mean by instant infinite contextual tutorial data. I literally just don't know what your message means. Valid crash out. A lot of games just assume the player is new, so they don't allow the player to skip the tutorial as a result, even if you just installed the game on a new device. Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. Anyway, let's die here. And we'll see if the resurrection works. Maybe I should point him at the basin instead. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. So, resurrection container. Setting up autoplay gives you a computer opponent framework down the track. Combine that with instant tutorial data and you get extra easy moves from 1 bit of code. I'm still not understanding what this is, what the context is for this. Am I just being dense, everybody? Does anyone know? Setting up autoplay gives you a computer opponent framework down the track. Combine that with instant tutorial, I'm assuming that's tutorial data, and you get 2 extra easy moves. I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm sure you're saying something useful or insightful. I can't decipher it. I need to add a little guy that points at things now. Yeah, he's cute. He's cute. Anyway, So we want to point this at the basin, the clickable control, brazier, clickable control, brazier. Let's take a look at the resurrection container. Yeah, we could just point it at this clickable control. Ad hominem. I'm genuinely trying to understand what you're saying. I just don't know. I think he's saying something like that emulates player input to play through the tutorial for you. Oh, interesting. Is that what you're saying, Bone Circuit? I understand. Yeah, so if that's what you're saying, then you're saying I can have a framework for, like, yeah, having a computer AI opponent control a board or something. But if that's the case, then I don't think that's applicable to my game because the enemy boards are just generated with an algorithm. I don't have any need in the future to have like a whole way of manipulating boards as a player would. Okay, brazier clickable control. So let's do public. Brazier clickable control. So now I can go here. Board.owner. Okay, oops. Bar resurrection container is equal to board.owner as resurrection container. We're going to do resurrection container dot brazier clickable control. And then we will set look at anchor to resurrection container brazier clickable control. And then we'll do new vector 288. Okay. Let's see if that does it. Oh, I was supposed to die there? I was supposed to die there. Okay, that's much better. Where are you going, sir? I gotta get this locked in. Gotta lock in Unk. Resurrection container. State resurrection, skull pop out. So leave state resurrection, but then it goes back into this state. Why does that look weird to me? What's going on here? So it's like flying away. Oh, probably because leave state resurrection. Where is that? On player resurrected, change state, previous state. So Yeah, I guess that's fine. I guess I'll just leave it like that. I mean, this is a state that I hope the player isn't going to get into, but it's there as just like a fail-safe in case they do die somehow. I mean, the way that they would die is by starting combat with no cards. So this is just a stopgap to make sure there's no like soft lock in the tutorial. So he flies away a little bit, but that's okay. And then we can do this. We should be back on track. Okay, anyway, the resurrection is fixed. I bought your C# course, but I'm finding it really hard to follow with little experience making games and programming. Any tips? I still want to take it. Yeah, so I think... So my courses are more geared toward people who do have programming experience, and so it's understandable why you're having trouble with it, because I don't spend any time really explaining programming concepts. So what I would say is that it might be helpful to get familiar with programming concepts generally if you're new to programming. Do like a YouTube crash course on just programming generally so that you can understand like what a variable is, what a class is, what a method is, what, you know, all that kind of stuff is. Maybe even a C# dedicated one first. Because yeah, I think you are going to be lost if you don't have any programming experience in my courses, generally speaking. So yeah, I would recommend maybe starting with a programming course somewhere, and it doesn't have to be a long one. I think that, you know, it depends on your capabilities, but even like, you know, a 10-hour YouTube course or whatever would probably be enough of an introduction. Hello, Nero Dragon. Code Monkey has a lot of great stuff. Take an intro coding course in a free platform like Khan Academy. Yeah. Find it hard to understand why I'm making a variable here or a function there. Okay. All right, so fix. Great stuff for beginners anyway. Okay, resurrection is done. There's a way to prevent the background dimmer from reappearing. Let's see if we can fix that one, because that's kind of a big issue. Hello, Zachary. Welcome back. Good to see you. I am doing well, yes. Thank you. That's an issue too if I close this. Why is he so small? Well, that's not good. Huh. Well, that's a problem. But yeah, if I close this, that's going to be a problem. Do I have that written down? Can close alchemy during alchemization step. Pushing text off screen. You'll get far fast in programming by just doing small exercises while following a course. Info is stickier than if you just watch videos from my experience. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Close the inventory to continue. So the dimmer never reappears after I unforce the dim. Oh my gosh, why do I have so many... Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Set force overlay visible, set force overlay visible false. Update overlay. I think I just forgot a condition in here. Okay, that should fix it. It's a Kitty Wigs channel. Take care, kids. Okay. I placed cards on my board. So it looks like I can kind of break that step as well. I think what I could do is I could just go back to that step if the alchemy is closed. So maybe I could just fix that right now, but let's see. I forgot what I was testing. Oh, the dimmer. Okay, so the dimmer is working again. So that's good. All right. So fix force dimmer. I see Code Monkey already has a 12-hour C# course on YouTube. I'm overwhelmed already. It does, I mean, it takes a lot of effort. Like, programming is not the easiest skill to pick up in the world. So it does take a lot of effort to get into, I think. Okay. So if we're in the state alchemy, so let's see. On alchemy closed, can I do I have an alchemy closed here? Alchemy closed, yeah. On alchemy closed. And we're going to switch back to state begin alchemy. Alchemy closed. On alchemy closed. Let's see what that does. Hopefully that's an easy fix. You can do it in a few days. Yeah, you're welcome. Like it's a big thing for learning programming. It can be hard and it won't be glamorous, but once you know, it's very rewarding. Yeah. I'm in the process of helping a friend of mine learn how to program so that we can make games together, where he focuses mainly on UI elements. Nice. That sounds fun. He gets frustrated by how hard it is to follow some things. Yeah. It's very fun, but I've been learning for years and still running into new stuff. Yeah. There's it's like a very, very deep topic, generally speaking. Like, even when you're an expert in one aspect of programming or whatever, there's always more to learn. To alchemize cards, add 2 or more cards to the pot. If I close this, oh, it redoes the time. Ah, fudge. Oh, fudge. Okay, well, I'm just going to fix this that way I know how. Private async. Void state. Pre-begin alchemy. All right, this is just going to be a mess, and I'm just going to be okay with that. Okay. Beginning is mostly logic, I think, so if you get good with that, you can start going deeper. You'll never stop learning. Well, some folks do, but the best engineers I know that are that way because they always want to learn more. Yep. Yeah, true. Insert satisfied from Hamilton soundtrack here. Gotta go for now. Thanks again, and good luck on more tutorial making. Thank you. Appreciate that. And always good to see you. I hope to see you again. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, this tutorial. Oh, man. I'm very sick of working on this. So now when I close the alchemy drawer, instead of that text going off screen, I just put him back to point at the alchemy button. And I can't close the alchemy while alchemy is in progress, so that shouldn't be an issue. Close the inventory to continue. Resume your offensive against the Inquisition with your newly alchemized card. Cells in your combat board can be unlocked using alchemical residue. Chemical residue is a byproduct of alchemy. Use alchemy to gain a residue and unlock a cell. Okay. So that's working pretty well, I think. Close that. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so we've got a couple of other things. I fixed that one, so that's good. Unlock cell step can be ignored, so we got to figure this one out now. Interesting. Unlock cell step can be ignored. Yeah, I know what that one is. I just need to figure out how to fix that. How am I going to fix that? Well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will figure out what the heck is going on. But we're getting down to the last things that need to be done here. So we're very close. And we'll see. I want to do something fun after I fix this one too, something with the art. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back, and we will continue on. Hello, it's me. I'm back. Hello. Hi. How you doing? What's up, everybody? All right. So here's the thing. Here's the deal. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna get this cell unlock step to not be skipped in some way, or maybe I will. Well, I don't know. Anyway, let me demonstrate what I'm talking about first. Demo. You know, I was like, this is embarrassing, but I was in my mid-20s when I realized that the word demo was short for demonstration. And that should pretty much sum up how dumb I am. But it's all right. Okay, let's go to the unlock cell spot. Alchemize cards. Boom. Boom. Close the inventory to continue. Resume your offensive. Okay. Hello, Nick. A second stream from my favorite niche e-celebrity. Yes, indeed. Okay, so here's the problem. I can just close this. Oh, wait. No, I can't. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I guess that issue was only an issue because... So I'm forcing the dimmer here, but I had that bug previously where the dimmer would just disappear, and so I was able to move on. But now that the dimmer is forced again, I actually can't click anything. So I actually have to do the alchemy. Or maybe I'm Nope, and I have to actually do this. So maybe I'll add a step in there. Maybe here's what I'll do. So I want to add a step in there where it just disappears. Did I say welcome to the stream, Nick, by the way? I don't know. I got sidetracked, but good to see you here again. I often think about demo as demon because that's how it's shortened in Portuguese. Oh, interesting. Okay. It's understandable when people always use the shortened version and nobody uses the long form words. Yeah, and it's one of those things too where it's like, if I had thought about it for more than 2 seconds, I would have made the connection. But yeah, you just use the short form word every time, and it's like, that for all intents and purposes is the new word, right? Like demonstration is going to be labeled as archaic in the dictionary. I was reading a book a while ago, and it was older, not old English, but it was, you know, from the 1700s, and they kept having like asterisks next to words, and they'd be like, this is archaic, and it means, you know, whatever. So that's going to happen with a lot of our words, I think. Demonstration is archaic form of demo. I did. Okay, good. Demonstration feels more political with how it's used nowadays. Yeah, it can. Yeah, the connotations change over time. Anyway. So I think for that step, so the board unlock, state unlock cells. So state nodes, I'm going to change this to state pre-nodes. Let's add state machine, add state pre-nodes. What I'm going to do in here, leave state unlock cells. I'm going to do skull dot pop out, or no, maybe not. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do private void state pre-nodes skull dot pop out. So I'm going to disappear the skull for now, and then when the inventory is opened, oh, I don't have an inventory, or no, on inventory closed, yeah. Else if state machine dot get current state is equal to state pre nodes, state nodes. Okay, and then this state node state on cell unlocked state pre nodes. So I'm just adding another blank step in there so that I'm not going to prompt the player to close the inventory. I'm just going to let the player decide what to do after that. Trying not to do too much hand holding, like I said. So you're telling me Unk and Slept On is going to have an asterisk next to them one day? Yeah. I remember, what was it? It was like back in 2012 or something when like one of the dictionaries, maybe it was Merriam-Webster, they added the word selfie to the dictionary. And I remember, you know, I was still in high school in 2012 and I was like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. We're living in idiocracy. That was kind of fun. What does slept on mean? It means that you're not paying attention to something or that something is like underrated, basically. Imagine being alive in 2012. You gotta set a speedrun record for the tutorial level. Yeah. That's, I mean, the selfie thing was kind of funny because it's like, you know, because it was a meme at that point in time because it was like right when the word started to be used with a lot of frequency. And that's why it got added to the dictionary. And so it's just like this meme about it. But yeah, you know, obviously that's just the natural course of language. It's just kind of fun to make it a bigger deal than it is. I take offense to that. FB slept on, thank you. So we do this, we grab those guys, put them in, kerblam, open that up, unlock this, and he goes away. And then I leave the player to their own devices to dismiss. And then he comes flying back in. I remember a time a few years ago when people were saying the word literally for almost everything. People still do that. I'm kind of guilty of that sometimes. Get off the internet and learn to take your first steps. I thought English evolved fast, and then I learned Japanese, and oh boy, does the slang in that language evolve at light speed. Interesting. It's very interesting. Let me try something here. This tooltip is hidden underneath this text. Oh, son of a biscuit. Well, I guess I could just move this up. I'll have to pay attention to that. Let's put this back. Oh, what am I doing? Put this back the way it was. Let me make a note of that. Map tooltips are obstructed by tutorial text when next to map node. I think that's going to be fixable. I'm just going to do a slight offset of the text so the tooltip can't overlap it. That'll be my fix for that. Hello, cat. Can I help you? What? What? Yeah? What's your deal? Ah! I don't even know how to say that. Kajikana have like 50,000 characters or something. Probably getting things confused wrong. That's technically that many, but then Japanese there's only like 2,400 you typically see. Cute kitty has appeared. Hi, kitty. His eyes are portals to outer space. He does have beautiful eyes. Everyone says that about you, buddy. You have beautiful eyes. Beautiful blue eyes, don't you, bud? Yes, I know. I know. He's hungry because he's on a diet now. Because you have like 1 pound extra. You have like 1 pound extra. That's like really fat. You're really fat. You gotta get the weight off of you, buddy. Controlled starvation is the way to do it. As a disclaimer, I'm not starving my cat. He gets plenty of food, but less than before. Okay, so I wrote that down. Okay, one thing I want to do, so that's not, actually this wasn't an issue, so I'm going to go ahead and just remove that. All right, the next thing I want to do is what? I wanted to animate this guy a little bit more. Oops. Give him a little bit more movement. So we're gonna do this and see what it looks like. So we've got this one animation player that's moving him up and down, which honestly, I don't even know if it's that noticeable anymore. But I suppose we'll keep it, it's not harming anything. Then we're gonna do this idle animation player. Let's rename this one to hover animation player. Then we got the idle animation player. We'll create a new one. Default. Okay, we're gonna set up the snapping here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to I'm going to change some things here. I got to restructure the scene a little bit to do the animation I want to do. So we're going to do root position, and then we'll do root position here. Okay. Oh, are you serious? Ugh. Okay. Shoot. -11, -11. Okay, so the root here. Okay, we're back to normal. Maybe I can just change this to be visuals. Hold on a second. Am I referencing that visuals anywhere? Visuals. Scale vector 2.0. I think this will be okay. I think it can animate the visuals themselves. So let's do this. Visuals position. Default visuals position. Okay. Okay, so that's still working. Now I need to be able to edit these separately. So I'm actually going to move these all outside of the guide sprite. These don't need to be children anymore. Arm, guide sprite, okay. So now the idle animation player, what I want to do is I want to animate these things. So transform position. Oh, well, I guess we're doing another Node 2D. Arm root. Put that there. Okay. Now we should be able to just keyframe this. All right. I don't know if this is going to look any good, but we'll see. Just trying to add a little bit more motion here. I don't know. Let's see if that works. What happens if they're both playing at the same time? Is that going to be too much? Probably. Maybe we'll get rid of the hover. And we'll just do that. Let's see what that does. I think in Chinese it's 3 to 4K for typical daily use. I'll have to ask my fiance. She's Chinese. Japanese has, I don't even know, that they use alongside kanji, the Chinese characters. So it's a bit of its own thing. I get you, kitty. Interesting, okay. I don't know anything about any of those languages. Give him a piece of chicken right now. He's allergic to chicken, unfortunately, so no chicken for him. No McDonald's for the cat? Nope. My cat has diabetes, definitely don't recommend it. Keep up the diet. Yeah, that's a lot of work. A cat with diabetes is a lot of work. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Tateyama. Oh, I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks better than the other animation that I had. Just adds a little bit more motion to him. Nothing super impressive, nothing super amazing, but my cat has now opened my bedroom door and wants to be fed again. What pixel art font do you use? I'm in need of more readable font for my game. It's called Soft Square by Chevy Ray. Cool. I think that's looking pretty good. So I guess I will delete this animation then. Okay. Let's fix the rendering order issue. So I think what I'll need to do in my tutorial guide here is I'll just set... I'm just going to do this. Private void set as world layer. Layer equals 9. And we'll just store private int default layer. Default layer is equal to layer. Private void set as default layer. Okay. So this will be set as world layer. Set as world layer here. Set as world layer here. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so that's good. And then the tooltip issue. I actually think I want to move this up a little bit. Negative 32 here. Get run map for map node. Or get map for a run map node. Negative 32 here. That might create enough space. We'll see. To fix the overlapping tooltip issue. So yeah, it's probably actually too far up, but I could also move it. Yeah, let's just change this a little bit. 16, and I'm also going to move this over closer. And then up here, 32, negative 16. All right. So now the tooltip can't overlap that tutorial text just with a positioning change. We'll check the other one as well just to make sure. And I'll also check those world layer changes. So we go here, combine those guys. Where did my friend go? Oh, hello, welcome back. Yeah, there we go. So we go here. Oh, I forgot to check. Well, I should be able to check it actually. Or no, can I? I think I screwed it up. Okay. Try again. But I think the positioning stuff is working, so that's good. I don't need you to tell me how to win this game. Speedrunning the tutorial. Okay, so now if I do this and I open up the alchemy and stuff, yeah, so that's in a different layer now. So that's behind the UI. So I have situations where I need this tooltip to render on top of the UI, and then situations where it needs to render in the world, so to speak. So that's the change that I made there. So now if I were, as a player, to open up this alchemy again, I'm not going to have this text over top of my board. Who knew a tiny little tutorial would take so much effort? Got the residue here. Ooh. That is quite the jellyfish there. So that thing needs to be fixed as well. Drawer button tooltips are cut off by tutorial text. Okay, we'll fix that as well. I guess that's just a matter of shifting it over more, but we'll unlock that. Oh, this one is wrong. Some locations here. Set as world layer, set as default layer. That should fix that. Okay, go here. Goodness gracious. I got defeated. It must have exhausted itself automatically. Oh, it exhausted itself again. So I gotta figure out if I want those negative alchemies to be a thing for this, but there we go. Okay. Cool. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Drawer toggle button tooltips are cut off by tutorial text. So let's take a look at that. Alchemy toggle button. We'll just shift this over more, I guess. Let's try 76. And then we'll do the inventory toggle button. We'll do 76 here as well. I wonder if that will fix it. I don't want it to be too far away from the button, obviously, but can't have things overlapping. That doesn't look very good. Okay, that shouldn't overlap. So I open up the alchemy now. Yeah, it looks fine. So he overlaps, but I think that's okay. Doesn't need to be such a big issue. Oh, that one's wrong too. Cells in your combat board, this needs to be 76 as well. Okay. Cool. All right, I think it's looking pretty good. We're getting very close to being done here. We fixed that one. So we got to prevent backtracking. We did that one. So now really the big things are figure out what to do about the backtracking, triggering the boss fight, and then also have like a proper end to the tutorial. I should also write down something like prompt player to start tutorial from main menu. So I still haven't tied the tutorial into the game yet. I'm still using a debug flag to go into the tutorial. So I think, yeah, but that's, so the overall flow of how the tutorial actually is accessed from the main menu and then how you return to the main menu, that stuff is really the only thing, the major thing left, in addition to preventing the backtracking here. So we're very close to being done with this. I do want to add visuals, add explosion VFX for pop in, pop out. Do a little bit more work on the visuals there, but yeah, overall, it's going very well. I think it's looking great. Look at how many commits it took to get this tutorial to this state. Oh my gosh. And we ended up with a, what, 500 line script? Almost 600 lines? Jeepers. Jeepers. Anyway, that's what it takes, I suppose. Anyway, that'll be it for the stream, the second afternoon bonus stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. It's always great to hang out with you all. And yeah, you can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam if you're interested. I would appreciate that. You can also subscribe to the Patreon if you're interested. Again, I'll be running a playtest at the end of this month. If you're an active subscriber to Patreon, you will get 1 week of early access. And if you're not a subscriber to Patreon, then you will be able to play the playtest during the public playtest period, which will happen immediately after the Patreon only period. So yeah, you could also join the Discord. I would love to have you there. What else? I think that's it. So thanks everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you in the next one tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. All right, bye-bye.